Emma Saliba, can you approach the podium? So we're going to be wiping down the microphone with every hand up. Very mindful. So I understand that we're all eating, but we're going to start our program this evening with the Pledge of Allegiance, read by Emma Saliba. Please rise.
Will you all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Reverend Lynn Sugiyama, could you please approach? We have Sugiyamas with us today.
We're all cousins.
Reverend Sugiyama, please join us.
Thank you very much. There he is, my cousin.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lynn Sugiyama. I'm here for the Arizona Buddhist Temple. So everyone, please join me. Let's put our hands together in prayer. May the wisdom of the all-compassionate one so shine within our hearts and minds that the mist of error and foolish vanity of self be dispelled. So shall we understand the true changing nature of existence and reach spiritual peace. Everyone, please 조금 가쇼. 나무 아미다 부츠, 나무 아미다 부츠, 나무 아미다 부츠. Thank you very much.
Hello, friends. It's been too long since we've been together, right? 2 years. It's good to be back. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Not really? Okay.
What?
Emma, wonderful job on the pledge. Reverend Sugiyama, thank you. Wonderful invocation there. Hello, everybody. My name is Bill Staples, and I am the president of the Japanese American Citizens League, Arizona chapter. I've been a friend of the community for over 15 years, and it's a wonderful honor to be here with you today leading this program. So we are here today to celebrate you. We're here to celebrate the Japanese American Citizens League community of Arizona. And it's important for us at this time to remember why we exist as an organization. So I always like to take an opportunity to repeat the mission statement. So the JACL is a national organization whose ongoing mission is to secure and maintain the civil rights of Japanese Americans and all others who are victimized by injustice and bigotry. The JACL also works to promote cultural, educational, and social values and preserve the heritage and legacy of the Japanese American community. And implicit in that is an appreciation for U.S.-Japan relations and cultural exchanges. So with that in mind, that's why the theme for today's event was inspired by a week-long celebration in Japan known as Golden Week. Oh, we just got turned up there. We're good?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So now I don't have to yell. All right. So for many people, you may not know what Golden Week is, so I have a little educational opportunity here. So it's a series of holidays that occur at the end of April and the beginning of May in Japan. Those 4 holidays are Showa Day, April 29th, honoring the Emperor Hirohito, Constitution Day, May 3rd, Greenery Day, an appreciation for nature, May 4th, and Children's Day, May 5th. So like any recipe that's shared and passed down, you mix up the ingredients and you make it your own for your flavor. So we're adding our own spice to Golden Week here. And the multiple reasons for our Golden Week celebration are the following. So our first ingredient is remembrance. So 2022 marks the 80th anniversary of Executive Order 9066, the law that set the wheels in motion for the mass incarceration of people of Japanese ancestry during World War II. Also within remembrance are the lives lost during the COVID-19 pandemic, over 1 million lives in 2 years, and many more impacted by the ongoing health challenges, depression and mental health concerns, and the struggles of just returning to a sense of normalcy, learning how to interact socially, drive on the freeway. It's been a while since we've done that. All right. But back to the serious concerns of COVID, we do have a remembrance table there in the back, so please feel free to take a moment and share the names of those you wish to honor at the remembrance table. The next ingredient in our Golden Week is resilience. There's a saying that if you're comfortable, you're not growing, and you could say that the last few years have been a growing opportunity for us together, and surely it was not comfortable. But the human will to survive is strong, and tough times make us stronger. But unfortunately for many, it's been a double pandemic, the coronavirus and the rise of anti-Asian violence and rhetoric. And it's a reminder that racism is kind of like a forest fire. The potential for it to exist always occurs, and it's our responsibility to minimize those conditions for those flames to rise. We are living in historic times, and the timeless wisdom of the past helps us cope with the challenges of today, or at least it did for me. Just on a personal note, I'd like to share that back in 1918, when my grandmother was 5 years old, her family had Thanksgiving dinner, 1918, and by Christmas Day, they had a double funeral in their household. So they had a super spreader event, and our family was deeply impacted by that pandemic. So with that, I didn't want those deaths to be in vain, so it was very important to me that I took care of myself and my family and not repeat that history. I also felt that the pioneers, the Japanese Americans who experienced the mass incarceration, some of the concepts coming from that experience were helpful for me. One was gaman, to endure the unbearable with dignity and grace. And I figured that if those resilient pioneers could handle 3 years behind barbed wire, that we could handle at least 3 years of the pandemic. But it's been tough. The next concept that resonated with me, and Ken Koshio, if you're here, help me out. Kishi Kaisei. Say it again. Kishi Kaisei. It translates to wake from the death and return to life. And its meaning is to come out of a desperate situation and make a complete return. So in a sense, that is what we are doing here today by coming back and showing a sense of resilience. Kishi Kaisei. The great isolation is coming to an end, and hopefully we can return to some sense of normalcy in our life. The next ingredient in our Golden Week is gratitude, not just for nature, but all sources of nourishment. We just recently celebrated Earth Day, and we're here tonight appreciating the beauty of the Japanese Friendship Garden. And for many, during the Great Isolation, it was an opportunity for us to return to nature, to survive and cope. For myself, I went on daily walks for fresh air. Many friends went out on hikes and trails. We even know somebody who climbed a mountain every day and played some drums on the top of a mountain. All right. And with that, also the nourishment of the artists and their art who feed our souls. So wonderful music, the musicians who are playing here tonight. And also the nourishment of our pandemic pets and our animal friends. Those were very important to get through the pandemic. And of course, our non-furry friends, our human friends. Grateful for their efforts and those who help our community by giving back and helping others. And tonight we're going to honor them with our Gold Swallow Tribute Award. And finally, the last ingredient is hope, or in the future, and we're celebrating our youth. We're going to celebrate the future of the community by sharing the essays that they've written in the essay challenge. Our students are going to be reading them. And we're going to honor the scholarship winners and wish them well as they embark on a new chapter in their lives in college. But before we get started, I want to take a moment and thank publicly all those who gave their time and energy and expertise to help make today possible. So with that, I'd like to introduce all of our board members. If you could, as I say your name, stand. Pat Carper, Donna Chung, Denise Fusay, Cindy Harbottle, she couldn't be here with us tonight, Suzanne Hug, Alyssa Ishimoto, JC Kobashi, Michelle Komatsu, Carrie Matsuishi, Ann Mura, Phil Okuma. Thank you, Phil. Bonnie Sumida, and Rusty Tanita. All right. Out of here. In addition to our board members, we had members of our special planning committee, Doris Asano, Joyce Shiota, and Seiko Watkins. Yeah. And our newest member of our JACL Foundation who oversee the finances behind a lot of our activities. So I mentioned a few of them: Donna, Michelle, Bonnie, Janice Shimokubu, yeah, and Ted Noshioka. All right. And then finally, I'd like to thank the many members who volunteered as judges for the contest that we held. Dr. Susie Cook, Dr. Kathy Nakagawa. No, there she is, all right. Who also did double duty as an essay judge with Beverly Matsumoto and Alice Yamamoto. All right. See, it takes a lot of people to operate the community here. All right, and then finally, the community organizations we'd like to recognize. The Japanese Friendship Garden, thank you for hosting us today. Beautiful facility. Arizona Buddhist Temple, thank you. And the Asian Pacific Community in Action, or APCA, Zina Hassan and your team, thank you. And I would imagine the great information that's back there at the table, somewhere in there is a reminder that COVID isn't really over, we're just learning how to live with it. And I think about going back to 1918, how before that, they just had the cold season. Then after that, they had the cold and flu season. So maybe now we have the cold, flu, and COVID season going forward, and we'll be able to cope and manage accordingly. Then finally, I want to thank our keynote speaker, Carolyn Sugiyama Klassen, for coming from Tucson. All right. Okay. So with that, we have a wonderful program, and we should move ahead onto the agenda. So let me introduce our next speaker, the president of the Japanese Friendship Garden Board of Directors, Kiyoko Toyama.
Good afternoon. My name is Kyoko Toyama, as I was introduced, and I'm the president of Japanese Friendship Garden in Phoenix. I want to first thank you so much for choosing this place for this joyous occasion, wonderful occasion. Thank you so much for choosing this venue. It is a beautiful place, and I think you would really enjoy it. Japanese Friendship Garden is celebrating 20-year anniversary this year. And it will be 25 years since the tea house was built, Musoan. So we are planning a lot of activities to celebrate this 20th anniversary. And I hope you would be part of it, you would join the celebration. The garden has been really thriving and increased visitors for the last couple of years. And built on that foundation, of solid foundation, we have grown a lot. And for that growth, I would say our executive director, Selena Coleman, she's over there, and the dedicated, enthusiastic, and creative staff. Without them, we cannot do the programs and we cannot do all of the things that we do. And also, too, we have a master gardener now. That's why this garden is just so beautiful. It has improved so much and really giving opportunity for the visitors to enjoy the Japanese garden. And Ben Schlepp now has, who is the master gardener, now has 3 more full-time staff so that we can keep the place in beautiful shape. But I cannot forget to mention the volunteers that come on Saturday morning and pull weeds, rake, spruce up the place. And many of the volunteers are members of JACL. And I have to stress the gratitude that we feel for all of the support JACL members have given us. Without their support, we would have never had this garden. So I would like you to know that there is a place dedicated to JACL right next to Kasuga Toro. So as you walk in, when you look on the side, left-hand side, you would see Japanese American Citizens League, the name. So we've had a very long, beautiful relationship. And I hope this relationship will thrive and grow. And if there is anything that I can do, please call on me. I would really like to build the relationship so we can really enjoy this garden and the organization. Lastly, I want to congratulate you for the scholarship recipients, the contest winner, and I'm looking forward to the keynote speaker. Thank you.
All right, according to my notes, we will next move on to our first student essay reading. Somebody keep me on track if for some reason I'm off. There we are. So Emma, welcome back to the podium.
Thank you. So I'll be reading my essay, 1,000 Paper Cranes. So family dinners have always been a big part of my life, and we would gather once a month and spend genuine quality time together. They were also the dinners where I learned how to make origami with my family. My bachan and I would sit together after dinner and learn how to make simple creations that I would hand out to my family members. Along with her, my dad and many aunties would also join in, and we would have a delightful time trying out new techniques and finding fun origami books to share with each other. Origami has become a special part of my life, and I always enjoy making it with my family and friends. According to Japanese tradition, folding 1,000 paper cranes gives a person the chance to make one special wish come true. In Japan, a crane is a bird of happiness, a symbol of luck and longevity. The crane lives for 1,000 years, each crane symbolizing a year of happiness. Hence, gifting 1,000 paper cranes to a person is a way to tell them that they are loved. In my room, I have a strand of 1,000 paper cranes hanging from my ceiling that was gifted to me by my aunt. This gift was so memorable and helped me connect with Japanese culture more than I had ever before by inspiring me to research the tradition of origami cranes and make more origami with my family. Now, when I make origami cranes, I always think of how that gift made me feel and use that to inspire me when creating origami for my friends and family. My dad used to tell me stories of my great-great-grandparents and how they enjoyed making origami together. I didn't fully appreciate this fact until I realized that all of the origami in our house was from them. They would make origami in a very special way where one of them would do a fold, pass it to the other, and then they would continue this until they had completed the piece of origami. While this technique is far from traditional, it gives the origami meaning and value, and is a way to spend time with one another rather than doing the folds alone. The pieces they made are a beautiful reminder of them and are even more special because they made them together. The art of origami has surprisingly taught me many things, which has led to a greater appreciation for the art. Origami is the art of transformation, and you are transforming a single piece of paper into something more beautiful and complex. Making origami requires patience because you must be neat when folding and make sure you are being precise to not make mistakes, as it can alter the final product. You must have discipline because you cannot rush through or skip any steps when making origami. And along with that, there is a sense of satisfaction in finishing your product, and you want it to be a good quality and neat. You also must be willing to practice what you have learned because origami can be challenging at times, and the only way to get better is to try again. These three principles, patience, discipline, and practice, are what make origami a beautiful art that stands the test of time. Thank you.
And we do have an origami table back there if you'd like to practice your patience and discipline. So next we will have a musical break. Thank you.
Sandy, how are you?
Next, Donna Chung, introduce our keynote speaker.
Thank you, Bill. Hi, everybody. It's good to see everybody gathering once again. My name is Donna Chung. I had the privilege of being president of JACL Arizona chapter between 2014 to 2020. So I'm very glad that we're able to have this opportunity once again to gather and to see each other. I also have the great privilege of introducing Carolyn Sugiyama-Claassen. You would think that for a girl who was born in the Big Island, who became a lawyer, and who saw the front lines of the redress movement, not just from the outside, but from the inside, and also working the ground, working the grassroots, encouraging people to speak out, to tell their stories. You would think that after accomplishing that in the 80s, she would be done. But her story is not done, and that is the lesson for all of us, not only for the Japanese American community, but also for the community within the United States, that very much the quest for justice is both an individual one and a one for the community. So please join me in welcoming Carolyn Sugiyama-Claassen.
Good evening.